This one is on basic scanning and energy work. And I may end up having to do it again to discuss the apartment. It just depends on what happens. So there may be two of these. This particular one is on scanning people. Say a friend comes to you, they're really tired, and they want you to do some bull work on them. Now, first, before we go any farther, I think I've mentioned before, I recommend getting 3 different bulls. You don't need to. Jonathan Goldman and a lot of others, you get a middle, you get a size like this, that's all you need. I just find I like the clarity of, okay, this little high pitch bowl. High pitched energies, they break up stagnation and they bring in high positive vibrations. Middle pitch bowl smooths things out. So if you've got too much energy here and too little here, and you use the high pitch bowl and now it's sort of swirling all over, this can smooth things out. Then, of course, a 9 or 10-inch bowl. You don't want more than 10-inch unless your hands are really strong, because as it is, holding this for like 15, 20 minutes is going to be something. But this can be used for grounding and blessing. And you can also use it on for healing work, but we're going to get into that specifically elsewhere. Anyway, so if you want to scan someone, now some people can use crystals. I've been told that and somehow the crystal lets them know when they're lacking energy versus too much. But I'm not that good at it. I know the theory, but I've never really made it work. But that's okay, because in general, I've found that I can feel with my hands, but I also like the bowls. And my body actually taught me how to scan with the bowls. I had not realized it. It's just when I was learning to do this, and what ends up happening is basically you strike it regularly, consistently. You start at the top of the head. Now I'm sitting down, but if I was standing, you'd go clear to the floor. To be thorough, you could do this side, you can do this side, you can do behind. Ask them to lift their feet, do underneath each foot, and you can even do under the palm of the hands if you want. However, in my case, I've recently had an energy session with a friend, so my energies are pretty well balanced and you're not going to notice it. But what ends up happening, and what I discovered, and I first thought it was just me not doing a good job because I was learning how to do this. I would strike like this because you don't hold it super tight, you hold it enough that you can do this. It's similar to the way that if you're doing Japanese bayaka, they hold the mallet to strike, I think, what's called a sho. And I'm going to have a different video on the bayaka. It's just that you hold it strong enough that it doesn't fly out, but you hold it loose enough that you can literally make it swing. And what I discovered is, as I was going down, or I was scanning, if there was too much energy, it'd hit really sharply. If there wasn't enough energy, I'd literally somehow miss it. And it took me 2 or 3 times scanning myself to realize, wait a minute, I'm not clumsy. This is actually telling me something. So this is how you start the process. You sort of get the idea. Let's say in my case, the big area I'm missing, because technically I am an asthmatic and I have allergies. So let's say that my asthma is acting up, and so I have less energy here, and maybe I've got more here. And so I've used the little bowl to try to fill this up a bit and to balance everything out. Well, And you honestly don't need all three. You can use this to scan and then go back with a different intention and use it to balance and fill and everything. You don't need more than one. I just happen to like my toys because they help me focus. So then what you do, now you can strike it or you can sing it. If you're really good at moving and singing, and I'm making it, I was going too fast, it was starting to uh, chatter. But we can start up here, and you can sing it if you want. It depends what you intuit or what you sense needs to be done. But you go ahead and you do it from head to toe, and then you can do it on the sides and do it in the back and do it under their feet and the hands, and you can even do under the armpits if you want. Um, you can carefully put it on top of their head. But this then, say that, like I said, I've used the high pitched bowl, I've broken some of this up, I've moved it down here, I've added extra, and now my energies are, shall we say, all sort of swirly because I've gotten stuff moving. So I use this to help smooth it, to make it smooth and sort of going back in with the flow and that. And now I like to leave a few minutes between what I'm doing. Do the high pitched for 5-7 minutes. Once I start putting the energy in, give it about 5 minutes to sink in. Do this other, and sometimes it depends. Your intuition after a while, or your physical sensing, you're going to start getting a feel what you need to do. Because I remember one gentleman, it only took 15 minutes, but I used the high pitch and I got some senses of where he needed it. I used it one more time. Then I waited, and 2 or 3 times I used the other bowl, but I did it like 5 minutes, and then I let it just step back and let it sink in for 3 or 4 minutes. Then I did 5 minutes again. So, after a while, you get a feel what you want to do. But then, when you're pretty confident that all the energies are calming down and stuff, you shall want to bless it, seal it, ground it. You take your big bowl. If you're really strong, you can do this and go all the way down, come back up, do it the other way. Or you can just hold it by their solar plexus. And this one's, I need a different one to make it sing. You can just sit and let the singing. You can let it sing and just join that way. So this is some very simple, basic scanning of people and energy work. Now, I think I've said, Jonathan Goldman and other sound healers say you do not need more than one bowl. If you can only do one bowl outside your own personal, something like this is fine. Because the point is, it's the power of sound and the intention. But I like the elegance of using the 3, one to scan in that. It's up to you. Now the next video I'm going to be about how to use the scanning and stuff in a house, a building, an apartment, somewhere like that. Because it's similar concepts.